I'm live. I love how that comes up all of a sudden and I'm always mid sentence in my head. So, anyway, hello, beautiful people. Me once again, talking to my laptop. Incredibly powerful topic. I'm not sure I'm going to do it justice tonight. I'm motivated more by making myself uncomfortable and doing these lives when I know nobody's watching more than I am creating incredible content at the moment. So, for me, what's important with this question that I've posted is how do you respond when someone says, how are you? How are you doing? How's your day? Is that I watch the world around me reply to that, firstly, with an automated or an autopilot response. So we just give an answer. We don't actually stop and listen to the question. Now, I make a point of whenever I speak to someone saying, how are you? Making eye contact and looking to see if I get the truth. Now, that isn't about this today. This is really about you looking at your automated responses to that question. Do you say okay? Do you say not bad? Or do you go into a string of the problems that you face that day? The way a person responds to that very simple question, which you might answer 10 times a day, is an insight into their mindset. It will tell you a lot about what is really going on in their thoughts and in their feelings, just with that simple question. Why that's important is because what we seem to be doing in this day and age is carrying an internal language and an external. Now, if we don't understand that both of those languages create the world that we live in, what that means is the language that you use internally in your thoughts and the language that you use externally when you speak with people will bring or attract the types of people that you're around. It will create the opportunities that life will present for you. Now, just stop and think about that for a second, because it's a very simple description. The way you talk to yourself and the way you talk outwardly will attract the types of people and will create the opportunities. If you're always just okay, not bad, or running off a list of problems in your life, then chances are they're the very things that you're going to wake up and face every single day. And it is as simple as that. And that's why I say the power of language in changing your life, because as simple as bringing an awareness to what it is that you say to that question 3 times a day, 5 times a day, 10 times. If you work in a big office, even better, because you're going to be asked constantly. If you notice your answer and you actually stop, you'll have had that incredible epiphany moment of, I'm lying, or actually, I'm incredible today. But I don't say that because I'm scared of what people might think if I'm too excited. Or inside, I feel like crap, but I've got to pretend that I look good and I've got to pretend that everything's okay. When you start to see that disjointed part of us and that disjointed language between your internal language, which is your thoughts, the things that you say to yourself inside your head that no one else gets to see, and the things that you say outwardly, you'll start to understand sometimes why humans are in such a tricky place with themselves, and why this word awareness that so many people hear so often is now becoming so important. If we rely on watching what we look like in the mirror and the words that we say outwardly that get us the jobs, get us the relationships, but we don't actually look inwardly about what's behind the person in the mirror and the thoughts going on, then we're going to be disconnected with ourselves. If we're disconnected with who we are, we're going to be entirely disconnected with the world around us at the same time. Now, if you look at the world and the state we're in as a species, as a people, as a community, or whatever, you'll see that this is almost at the very core of our problem. Because when we have that disconnection, we seek outward. So what we do is we start looking at other people, because we feel so rotten about ourselves. So my challenge in this live was to keep it really simple, was for you to stop. And when you get asked, how are you? How are you doing? In South Africa, how is it? However, in your terminology, you get asked how you're doing. Stop. It takes a second, 2 or 3, to actually listen to your response and do a quick check and see, is it how you actually feel? How are you feeling? And why do you not tell the truth? And if you are rattling off the problems, and if you are just okay all the time, and if you are just not bad, start reframing your language. How simple is it to say, I'm good, I'm doing great? You might not be, but again, what you'll start to do is get into that practice of checking in with yourself and seeing how that makes you feel. Again, this live was not the depths of language and its evolution as us as a species, because it is incredibly important about where we're going. It's more about bringing a sense of awareness to you and having that moment where you actually look at how you answer that question. Are you living in congruence with yourself? Are you telling yourself the truth? Do your outer voice and your inner voice match? If not, ask why. That's why I do this. If anyone ever wants this and it piques your interest, you want to understand more about the power of language and how, with just minor shifts in how you start your day, you can change the entire outlook of the way your mind works, which produces an entire new set of speech. If you understand the power of language, that intention and that shift will alter the things you attract, the people you attract, and will also alter the opportunities that you create. Because after all, that's what this journey is about. Opportunities, choices. What are you creating?